What's good and what's mobbing? Once again, God bless each and every one of you, man. Today is a good day. It's a day that the Lord has made. So let's get it. Today is January 9th, 2023. Today's verse, 1 Samuel 30, verse 18. David recovered everything the Amalekites had taken, including his two wives. Now, if you would take the time, especially for anybody that's feel, that they've taken severe loss, like a lot of loss, you know what I'm saying? If you would take the time to read same chapter, 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 1 all the way through 31, it'll give you a more complete picture about what I'm talking about here, but about what I want to share today. But nonetheless, let's get into it. So David had in his mind, after a lot of war had taken place, in his mind, he believed that he had lost everything. To come back from battle and to see your village flaming and smoking, like, what would anybody think? Think if you went to wherever you live, 3 cities over, but you come back and you just see your city smoke, nothing but flames on the horizon. Like, how could you not think the worst? You know what I'm saying? But the fight of faith is the realest fight you're ever going to fight. And David is exemplary in this regard. You know what I'm saying? Where it appeared that the Amalekites had destroyed everything in the city of Ziklag. Hold up. God is a rewarder of faith and courage. You know what I'm saying? And in this story, everything that had apparently been lost or apparently seemed lost and gone was restored to David at the end of the story in totality. Like he got everything back. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about me today, I think about all the times that I've accepted loss and defeat and accepted that it was over. Times when I accepted ruin as my last chapter. You feel what I'm saying? I can call a million times in prison when I sat up and I talked to myself and I just knew this was the final chapter. I was resigned to dying in prison as a life prisoner. And there were times where it was dark, man. Like, I'm actually writing a book that it'll show you how dark it went. But there were dark times when I just felt there was nothing more, that there was nothing left here for me on earth, that there was nothing good that could come of it. There's nothing that I could contribute to it to make it better. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt like this was it. This is done. I accept it. You know what I'm saying? But I can recall conversations where I had to battle that defeatist attitude, where I had to convince myself to keep believing that there was more in front of me, despite what my eyes could see and despite how my heart felt and despite what my own little personal history had told me, that, you're losing, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Lies of the enemy. And there's many other times, not even related to prison, that I felt like this, and I know that everybody reading this, has lost something, on different levels. That person that you gave your heart to broke it. The promotion you were waiting for, was given to someone else. The trust that you put into somebody else, they used it to flip it and turn around and burn you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this happens. The list goes on, but God knows this. He sees what you're going through. He knows what you've been through. And our God is a God of restoration. So when we're dealing with people, most of the time, they don't know the backstory of what you've been through, the fight of faith, that you had to maintain to even be here today for them to judge you. And who are they to judge? But that's another story. But don't worry about what people say or how bleak life may seem. And I don't mean don't worry. I know we all get stuff on our plate where we have to figure things out. But the Bible tells us to be anxious for nothing. So when I say don't worry, I'm talking about the biblical application of it, to trust that God is going to look out for us. He has his eye on the sparrow, correct? So my point is this: whatever you lost, whatever it is you feel that's been stripped from you unfairly, do you not know that we serve a God who can reinstate all that you ever lost and more? Restoration comes through faith and obedience, and nobody knows your testimony like yourself, and nobody else knows about those lonely conversations that you had with yourself, like I did, about quitting and about giving up. These times when you have to, despite what it looks like outwardly, remember the promises that are within and the promises that are in the word. You know what I'm saying? But But even though nobody else may know this and about those conversations, God does. And who's to say that your recovery, your reinstatement of what you feel you lost or was stripped isn't coming tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? But you'll never know unless you stay in that faith fight. You know what I'm saying? And God never runs out of plays in his playbooks. Believe that. So stay faithful, man. God has a plan for us, man. Keep it mobbing. Love y'all.